I'm a passionate electric bike enthusiast. My bike acts as a car replacement, both for commuting and leisure rides. On average, I cover about 14 to 50,000 kilometers per year, riding in all weather conditions, including harsh winter and heavy rain. Covering such vast distance naturally comes with its share of unpleasant incidents, but also many positive experiences. This episode follows up on one I made years ago. It's amazing that despite wearing a bright reflective vest and always riding with my front and rear lights on, both in the city and the countryside, some drivers still fail to notice me. It makes you wonder what they even doing on the road. Here's a clip of driver who is in awful hurry, passing me just few centimeters away. Typically, drivers are required to leave 1.5 meters of space when passing a cyclist, not 50 centimeters. The kid gave me a bit of surprise, jumping out from between the trees like that. I have the right of way, and the driver coming from the side street is supposed to yield to me. In this case, either they did on purpose or they're driving without license. What's the point of almost hitting me and then keeping long distance after passing? Here, another similar situation. They don't even bother to turn their heads to make sure no one's coming. Why break it all? You would made it. The scooter rider suddenly decide to make left turn on a busy road without signaling or even checking behind them first. Plus, he's wearing huge headphones cutting them off from any important sounds. Instead of focusing on the road, they are too busy looking at their phones, something that could easily end badly. I could pass on the left, but at that moment I felt like matter of principle. What the hell? I had the green light and this car almost hit me. I think they waved signaling they were sorry. Well, that's something at least. This is shared path for pedestrians, cyclists and scooters. And out of nowhere, pedestrian suddenly changed direction. Just stops in the middle of the road, blocking the way. No signal, no nothing. Here's another driving who stops in the middle of the road, signals but doesn't turn. And just when I try to pass them, they signal right and turn anyway. Sometimes it feels like a bit of game. It was beginning of spring, but winter just didn't want to let go. There's this bridge I always cross with extra caution in winter because the wooden bars tend to freeze up and become super slippery. This time I completely forgot and I assumed that if the asphalt wasn't icy, the bridge would be fine too, but no. Yes, can you see? I slipped and slid quite the distance. I even had an audience. People on the train must have been wondering what the hell I was doing down there. On my ride home from work, I saw a dog owner making some panicked gestures on the side of the road. At first I thought it was a sign that an out-of-control dog was about to attack me, but I slowed down anyway. Turns out it was very friendly Labrador who suddenly ran right in front of my bike, causing me to lose control. Luckily I was bundled up with my winter gear like the Michelin man, so I didn't get hurt. And it seems the dog was fine too. Thankfully this time it ended well. The very next day, just a few hundred meters away from the same spot, I hit my first patch of black ice on the way to work. And I wasn't the only one. The poor kid in front of me couldn't take the corner and slipped. Thankfully, he seems okay. Another time, a teenager lost control of their bike, but looks like walked away without a scratch. This was fascinating encounter. Right in the middle of the road stood a moose, and it didn't seem like it was going anywhere. I thought to myself, mating season is long over, so they shouldn't be aggressive. If I had turned back, I would lost at least an hour. So I decided to take my chances, and thankfully the moose calmly moved on without any trauma. Here is an escape artist, a farm animal that somehow got out of its pen. Even with its newfound freedom, it was clearly looking for a way to return its herd. A tiny squirrel having a refreshing drink from a bottle. It was such a peaceful sight. Check out this cat giving me side eye. It's like was tracking my every move, turning its head to follow me. This animal had narrow escape. It almost got hit by a car. Very, very close call. A cat hanging out in the countryside, far from any houses. I wonder what adventurers it's up to. Now here's a wild moment. In the dark, I spotted something worry up ahead. My first thought was bear, and I brake hard and made some sort of weird noise, still not sure what sound it was, to announce my presence. Luckily it turned out to be a moose. But the situation like this, it's important to give them space or risk being knocked down. This one is truly amazing. I saw two little creatures on the road, and it turns out they were badgers, heading straight towards me. The wind wasn't carrying my scent, so they didn't realize I was there until they got really close. When they finally sensed something was off, they scurried away. Just incredible moment. Here's a big dog that somehow got loose and decided my bike looked tasty, bite right into it. You can see my bike wobbling from the force. My bike had a speed limiter at the time to keep things legal, and looking back I realized that sticking strictly to the law could cost me my health. Man was walking along the side of the road with his nose buried in his smartphone and almost bumped into the parked car. Next up, cycling crossing at the green light, but instead sticking to the path, they turned into the road meant for the cars. That quickly escalated when driver honked and the cyclist responded with the middle finger. The police were on the roadside without reflective vest, making it harder to see from the distance, and they were measuring speed with the device. That's why it's important to follow traffic rules. There's unmarked Skoda to my right with police inside, parked facing the bike lane, probably waiting to catch speeding scooters, e-bikers or other e-assisted vehicles. Ahead of me, a guy with real tough attitude, arm outstretched in the streets, basically saying, "Don't mess with me." One car just entered the roundabout and the vehicle approached from the roundabout signaled. What the driver didn't realize was the car in front was expecting technical issues and it was moving at snail speed. And here you see somebody just strolling straight into the road without even checking the car coming, like they assume it's safe. Woohoo! 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 No comment needed for this one. Reaching your destination safely in traffic requires the ability to read the minds of other road users and to use logic to anticipate when a potential driver might suddenly change direction. Unfortunately, I can't always count on everyone signal their intentions clearly, especially when it comes to e-scooter riders and other light traffic participants. I also strive to behave responsibly by yielding to pedestrians and stopping at the red lights. When children or dogs are nearby, I make sure I reduce my speed, but I admit that occasionally I make silly mistakes that leave me feeling embarrassed and pondering how I could have handled those situations differently. In a couple of months, I'll celebrate reaching 100,000 kilometers on my 3 electric bicycle, a truly impressive milestone. Luckily, I haven't been hit by a car yet. In the next video, I'll be heading out of the city on our enduro electric bike for longer day trip of 217 kilometers. Stay safe out there, keep riding, and let's continue to inspire others. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episode. Bye.